Because of that, there's been a lot of rejection for international students, and that is why I tell people to apply to at least 2 schools when you are trying to apply for admission in Canada. To build your credit score, you must be spending 30% and below of your credit card. Let me tell you, living in isolation can affect you in a lot of ways. That a school is a DLI does not necessarily guarantee that that school will be offering postgraduate work permits. Relocating without a long-term plan, I don't know why you should do that, but I'll tell you that you're not going to like yourself when you eventually get here. If you don't even have a friend in the province that you're heading towards, you can go to the International Student Center in your university and just talk to them. I'm sure they should be able to pair you up with someone, either a community or a group of people. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Yemisi. On this channel I make videos about immigration, settling into Canada as a student, as a permanent resident. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe. I've been getting a lot of questions lately, and some of those questions I don't even know how to answer them. That's why I'm bringing it to you guys to let you know that people are really making mistakes as international students in Canada. And I wanted to point out these common mistakes that I've noticed. I've seen the trend. When I get questions, I'm just like, why? After all the videos that you watch on my channel, how? Why? Very few of them I also did make, and I wanted to share my experience with you guys so that you do not make such mistake as well. A quick disclaimer, I am not a licensed immigration consultant. I make videos here based on research, and yeah. So I know that you just got your visa. Congratulations. For those people that are still trying to put together their application for admission or for visa, most of these points might actually be speaking to you. When I get into it, you're going to understand what I mean. So the first one is when you're applying to a school that is way beyond your budget. On the channel, you know how much I speak on doing your research based on your financial situation. You know the province that you're heading towards. I think I've said this before on the channel that I had applied to the University of Windsor when I was coming to Canada. Windsor is in Ontario. That tuition at the time was very expensive. For me, it was like about $35,000 for a 2 years program. I didn't do any research. The only reason I wanted to go there at the time was because my friend, and I can't remember if she had graduated from the school or if she was still in the school, but anyway, because that was where she was, that was where I wanted to go. You know how this mentality of let me go to where is familiar. But when I got rejected for my visa and I was reapplying again, and I thought, you know what, this tuition fee is actually very expensive. And then I took a turn and decided to look into, will this course even be good for me? Like, is this something that I really want to do? Is this something that aligns with my career path? I started doing all those research, and then I changed my mind. And at the time, on the website for University of Saskatchewan, the tuition fee for international students was estimated at $19,000 plus, which was approximately $20,000, and that was 2 years after I'd applied for the previous admission. So you can imagine what the tuition of that school will be right now. And I'm not saying this to discredit the school, you know, no. I'm just telling you that based on my financial situation, I knew that I would have struggled a lot in order to pay that tuition fee. Applying to school or schools that are way beyond your budget. Also, I usually advise anyone that is applying to Canada to, especially now that it's like schools are in demand. See, currently a lot of tuition fees have gone up. The supply is less and demand is very high. Because of that, there's been a lot of rejection for international students, and that is why I tell people to apply to at least 2 schools when you are trying to apply for admission in Canada. So that's something that I also want to, you know, hold on to. The second one would be relocating without a long-term plan. There are people like this as well. When you're coming to Canada, there's no long-term plan because you feel like this course is easy. I was talking to someone recently, and the person told me the reason why he's choosing this particular course is because he heard that it's easy for you to get that kind of course. Some people even go as far as saying they'd rather go for diploma or bachelor's. And I'm like, do you even know how much bachelor's degree is right now? Tuition per year is like $40,000. Yes, like it has gotten that expensive. So you have to do your research, like I always say. Relocating without a long-term plan, I don't know why you should do that, but I'll tell you that you're not going to like yourself when you eventually get here. Bills will keep coming, so you have to have a plan. What are you doing next? Is there a certification you need to take? You know, all of those questions you ask yourself. And I'm coming to some other points that I don't want to drop right now. That's what I'm going to say for that one. The next one is getting admission into a program that is not beneficial in the long run. I kind of touched that in the second point. Some people will just choose programs that does not really align with their career path, and they get here and they are so frustrated. See, let me just call it spade a spade. A lot of people come to Canada and say they want to do healthcare programs just because they feel like healthcare is in demand and they pay them a lot more. But a lot of them will get into the country and then have to drop out or switch programs because it's not easy. A lot of those programs, if you don't have an understanding of it from like a grassroots understanding, it's going to be very, very difficult for you when you get here. Then you find yourself wanting to put more hours to studying than working when you need the money from the work to take care of the program. The next one is applying to a program that is not eligible for PGWP. I kind of touched that as well in one of my videos. I think I've touched that in a couple of videos, but there was a particular video I made recently. I'll put that link here. I'll also drop it in the description box, so please check that out. And yes, I usually leave my timestamps in the description box so that it's easy for you to skip to wherever you want to watch. I'll advise you not to skip though, but yeah, it helps to easily move to another section. I forgot to mention in that last video that a school is a DLI does not necessarily guarantee that that school will be offering postgraduate work permits, but majority of the DLI schools, they offer postgraduate work permits. Also, I'll tell you to watch that video because I dropped a link that gives you a comprehensive list of all the universities and colleges in Canada. The ones that are DLI, they stated it there. Ones that offers postgraduate work permits, they also stated it there. So I'll say that you should watch that video so that you can understand everything about this postgraduate work permit that I'm talking about, because yes, it's a big deal. Period. It's a big deal. So when you're applying to a program that is not eligible for PGWP, there are ways that you can maneuver it, but go watch that video. You'll get an extensive understanding of what I mean. The fifth one is doing little or no research about your program, your school, your province that you're heading to. Everyone knows by now that Saskatchewan is very, very big on agriculture. Saskatchewan is not as big as the bigger cities, so there are some jobs that you will naturally not get here, and there are a lot of jobs that you also get here. Government jobs, they are very, very, very prominent here. Agricultural related jobs, they are also prominent here. What I'm just trying to say is that when you are going to a province, try to do research as to what is going on in that province, and then try to align your purpose with that province if that's where you really want to go to, or change your plan. The next one is bring acceptable foodstuff that you can bank on for a while. Some people don't do this. If you watch my video, if you watch the video I made when I was recently coming into Canada, guys, I literally cringe when I watch some of those videos. But yeah, if you can, go watch that video. I mentioned the food stuff that you can bring into the country. I'll also try to link it up here so it's easy for you guys to watch. Some of those food stuff actually lasted for about 4 months. What that means is that I was able to save up on that instead of just coming into the country and getting to buy African food stuff, which can be very expensive. If you watch my vlogs, I try to show a little bit of some of the prices of things that I get when I go to the African stores. What I'm saying in essence is, if you have a luggage that is not full, because personally I wouldn't advise you to be bringing clothes to the country, especially if you're coming from tropical countries. This place, the weather is different, so all the clothes that you're bringing down, you'll most likely be wearing jackets to cover them for the first maybe 6 months ish or less, or a year. So I would personally tell people to bring in food stuff more if you can than bringing in clothes. That's just me, okay? This one, living in isolation. See, if you are living in isolation in Canada, there are a lot of information that you will not be aware of even as you are living within that country. Naturally, it is normal for people that are coming in to be more updated than you are, but it will be very important for you to also be updated as you are in, because you don't know any policy that will come in that might favor you. I know when I first landed in Canada, I think the first 4 months, there was this policy at the time, because it was during when COVID rules were relaxing a bit. People were allowed to get IELTS band 4 or 5 thereabouts if you've been working in maybe healthcare related sector, or if you have been working as a cashier, like you were working in all those places that involved you talking to people during COVID. They launched a very quick immigration pathway at that time, and people, you know, applied for it. And I'm sure that by now, well, not sure, but like a lot of them should have gotten their permanent residency approved by now. A lot of people were in the country and were not aware. So it's good for you to be updated even as you settle into the country, because I get it, you're new, you're still very much excited as per, oh, I'm finally in Canada. Put your ears down, make sure you have a community. You can't be with everybody. because people don't even have time. Everybody's busy. But in your own way, try to meet up with people. And the good thing is you're coming in as a student, which allows you to even have that flexibility or ability to meet people every day on campus. So try to explore that, maximize the opportunity that you have. That's what I'm going to tell you. Very, very, very important. It can never be overflogged. Another thing that I'm going to say, and this one is my personal opinion, renting alone can be a mistake for an international student, because it also takes us back to the previous point of living in isolation. Yeah, you can be that kind of person that says you are financially okay to pay a one-bed apartment and live by yourself. Good. But I will tell you that when you first come into the country, when you've not made strategic relationships, I'll advise you not to live by yourself. It's not just good for you based on information, job opportunities, career conversations. You can just miss out on a lot of things. I'm telling you, even immigration policies, even assignments in school. You just need that community. So for me, I would say when you first come in, I would advise not to rent alone. You can do that later on. Right now, I can decide to live alone because I already have my friends. Whether or not they're going to call me, whether or not I'm going to call them, I already have that strong friendship. But when you are new, you really don't have that opportunity to network with people, talk to people. And I really wish that I did this video with a friend. Maybe that friend would probably have more to say, but I trust that the people that are residing currently in Canada will be able to share some of the experiences that they have or some of the nuggets that they have in the comment section. So please, if you're that person, drop it in the comment section because you're going to be helping a lot of us. I have like 2 more points. Let me quickly run over it. The next one will be spending on what you can't really afford. I've noticed that some people will land and that first week they've bought a phone, they bought this, they bought that, like they are living a luxurious lifestyle. They are buying a car brand new. You don't even really need it, in my opinion, if you are not financially okay. I'm talking about people that are not financially up to that level to do that, because trust me, you need comfort, and having a car is not even a problem because you need that convenience to be able to move around. For those people that are eligible for working more than 20 hours, you might even have 2 jobs, and if you don't have a car, you might not be able to commute quickly to that second job. Having a car in Canada is not a luxury. I want you to understand that. I'm just saying that if you don't have the means to, then you should not. Some people will just come in and start buying expensive things. That's why I advise people, there are thrift stores and you'll be surprised the kind of beautiful items, new items that you will find in those stores. So explore all of those and try to ask questions. Reach out to people, ask questions. If you don't even have a friend where you are going to, in a province that you're heading towards, you can go to the International Student Center in your university and just talk to them. I'm sure they should be able to pair you up with someone, either a community or a group of people. Let me tell you, living in isolation can affect you in a lot of ways, and I've said it in some other videos. As little as people will just send you links and just tell you, have you seen this? They are sharing this bag of tomatoes or bag of fish or bag of something amongst 5 people. It will just help you to buy something wholesale, like in bulk, other than going to the store and buying things more expensive than what you would have gotten them. So that's just what I'm going to advise you. Do not live in isolation. Don't go for things that you cannot afford. Ask questions. There is Facebook Marketplace for you to buy things. They will state it on the website if the item is brand new and if it still has tags, and some will let you know that they've used it but it's used like new. So there are places that you can go to for most things if you want to get stuff to settle in the country. There are people that use thrifted items to actually stock up their house and you will not know. So wisdom. The next one, which is the last one, is paying off your credit card late. Coming from Nigeria, I never had a credit card. So when I first got into the country, if I buy something now, I'll be like, let me pay it off immediately. But that's actually not a way to build your credit score, because you need to build your credit score in this country to buy capital items like a car, a house, all of that. So that's like why it's important for you to have a credit card. But at the same time, that's not a license to spending recklessly or being a spendthrift. You should allow your money to stay for a while before you pay. One thing again that I've realized is, even though your credit card tells you that you should pay this minimum amount by, for example, December 7, try to pay it off by December 5, because it takes them some few days to actually clear into your account. Although I think it will still carry the posting date of when you paid, but personally, just to be on the safe side, I try to pay like less than a week before that day. That being said, to build your credit score, you must be spending 30% and below of your credit card. For students, and me, I was a victim of that. I opened my account with a particular bank, one of the big 4 banks in Canada, and they gave me just $1,000. And because of that, if I use my credit card to buy something like say $500, I've already spent past that. But then again, they will tell you that it depends on the promo that is running at that period when you landed, because some of my friends got as high as $2,500, $5,000 at the time when they landed. But what I'm just trying to say in essence is try to ask questions. Here in Canada, you have to book appointment before you can be able to talk to a financial advisor, so you cannot just go into the banking hall. Book a consultation and have a meeting. You can either choose virtual or in-person meeting. If you feel like in-person will allow you to express yourself better, just like me, please go ahead and do it and ask the right questions. Please learn how to use your credit card. It's very, very important, very, very important. And you do not have to buy everything that you see. If it's not important, please don't go for it. The fact that I have a credit card does not mean that I will buy everything that I like. If it's not important, I will ask myself again, do you really need this thing? My friends know me. I'll ask again and do you really need this thing? Sometimes when I buy something outrightly, it's because I've been thinking about it for the longest time before I buy it. So just please have a saving habit, because anything can happen anytime and you want to be prepared. You also want to build your credit score in Canada. The bonus point that I'm going to give you, because I just gave you 10 mistakes that international students make in Canada, I've mentioned in the community tab, and I'm going to say it here again. If you are coming to Canada as a student, right now the summer applications are open on all websites. So I'm talking all provincial websites. If you go to my community tab, you will see some links that I also put there. You can quickly go ahead and apply for that. That was how I was able to get my summer job last year. I applied in 2021. It closed around 2021, but I started the job in May. So usually from May to August, but it helps you to build a Canadian experience. Thankfully, they've taken out that caveat of you must have a Canadian experience, but it's only in the Ontario province for now. So please apply. I recently was checking the government of, is it Alberta's website, and I saw a summer role for a law student. Please check those websites, apply to them, and ask questions. Reach out to people. A lot of people send me questions and it's very overwhelming to catch up, but as much as I can, I try to respond. I'm not saying bombard me with questions, but I'm saying that ask people around or watch videos. There are always resources for you online. I wanted to just share that with you. If you have any more points to add that is going to be beneficial for us, please let us know in the comment section. Thank you so much for doing that, by the way. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more videos coming your way. Okay, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.